All right, at 6:30, Julie, would you mind calling the roll, please?
Certainly. Katie Courtney.
Here.
Ken Dawson.
Here.
Chris Espinoza.
Here.
April Finan.
Here.
Don Renner.
Here.
Michael Risky.
Here.
Ryan Enright.
Here.
And Romina Papavera Gonzalez.
Here.
Thank you very much.
All right, having a quorum, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, let's turn it over for student perspectives.
All right, I'm going to invite South High up. Brandon, do you want the clicker, or do you want to just tell me when to go? All right, there you go.
My name is Brandon Murphy. I'm the Associate Principal for Athletics at South. I get the honor to be able to bring our first student perspectives of the year here. So when I talked to Principal Libb, we went through countless of opportunities for our students. We have activities, athletics, educational opportunities, but we thought it would be fitting to bring in one of our newest, and that's our girls flag football program. So today you're going to hear from members of our flag football program and our head coach, Coach Allen. So, Coach.
I'd like to start by thanking the board, superintendent, and all the principals, athletic director, and everybody who helped get this great program started. As you'll see, I have a true joy of flag football. It's just such a fun sport to play. The girls here, it's one of those sports where I think it can fit a lot of different type of people. And in some of the sports, this is a nice physical sport, but it requires quickness, speed, agility, all kinds of different things that maybe is not involved in every other sport that we have. And this is just another outlet to really give girls the opportunity that they deserve. And it's been a lot of fun for me to coach. I couldn't think more highly of these girls. They're just great kids. And I just really appreciate everything that you guys have done by bringing this to us. So we'll start with a few of the firsts that we had this year. First game ever was against our crosstown rival, Downers Grove North, and we got off to a good start. We did win that first football game, 34-6, right here at the stadium, and that was just a lot of fun. We had a lot of fans there, and it was just a great way to start off our, the Downer South career here at flag football. First ever playoff game. First year team getting a first playoff win. I thought that was really special. We have a lot of kids back, so we're looking to keep improving along the way. Our JV improved a lot throughout the year. We did a summer camp. We had 46 participants, and that was another, I didn't think we'd have those types of numbers, but we hustled throughout the school and tried our best to get kids involved in the program, and the excitement just built and built, and we just kept getting more people. So, and I'd like to really thank everybody for adding the 2 extra coaches, because without that, we were able to split the stipends up a little bit and get it up to 6 coaches for us, and it was invaluable for our development and our learning, and we couldn't have done that. It would have been a lot tougher without that support that you guys provided for us. So we'd really like to thank you for that. We had 3 all-conference athletes here. We had Ayana, was our jack of all trades. She played pretty much every position on the field for us at different times. We had Rihanna, who couldn't make it here today, and unfortunately, she had to go do something down at Southern Illinois, but that's a great opportunity for her, trying to get some college stuff going. And we also had Crystal. So Crystal was our all-conference player as well here, so on the defensive side. So had a lot of, just the start to the season was outstanding for a first-year program, and we expect to improve throughout the years here, so excitement. The other thing we did was we got a lot of partnerships with the Chicago Bears this year, and it started off with, they just showed so much support for girls flag football. If you see the commercials on TV for the NFL, it's just been outstanding. And they've partnered with us. They've donated equipment, donated some different funds to help us out to get started. And then we got a great opportunity with the Caleb Cares Foundation, and they took our girls. The varsity girls all got to go to the Bears game yesterday. Sat in the second row, unbelievable seats. They got to meet Caleb Williams' father. And he couldn't have been a nicer, more genuine guy. He gave time. He was talking to the girls and actually missed the first 2 minutes of the third quarter because he was still engaging with the girls. So it was a really great experience for them. And without further ado, I think we'll be letting some of the girls speak here. Mila?
Hi, I'm Mila Kasanovich Cruz. I'm a senior and I was one of the captains of this year's team. I thought it was a really cool experience and I wish like we had it earlier so that I could have gotten to play all 4 years. But I guess one of the highlights was beating DGN. I played a lot of sports at South, volleyball, basketball, and this was like the first time actually like playing and beating them, so that was really accomplishing. And just like seeing us all come together as a team. A lot of us didn't even know each other before this year, and meeting at summer camp and then being teammates this year, like we all have a greater bond, and a lot of us play other sports as well, so that also will help as more seasons go on.
Hi, my name is Ayana Peoples, and I'm glad to have been a part of the flag football team for its first year and make history. There's been some unforgettable moments this season, and my personal favorite would definitely have to be after scoring touchdowns, being able to celebrate with my teammates. And I love the game of football, and it's amazing to see its growth each year and to see the game continue to grow.
She had 2 years on the guys' team, and now we have her own team.
Wow.
She's like, ready to
Wow.
go.
Hello, my name is Ayana Griffin, and I played running back and quarterback for our flag football team. I just wanted to start off by saying how grateful I am for the opportunity to not only play flag football, but be a part of our school's first team. It was really a dream come true to be a part of this team and be believed in by all my coaches. It's taught me a lot of things and made me step outside my comfort zone, as I never imagined myself playing this sport. The experience was really rocky at first, but it's amazing to see how far we came from the summer camp to now. I'm really glad I gave it a chance, and I can't wait to carry everything I learned with me into our next season. Once again, thank you for the opportunity.
Any questions from board members?
Yeah, is this all of you, is it like your first experience in flag football? I think I heard it was not yours, but for the rest of you, is this your first experience? And what made you get interested in pursuing flag football?
I used to do some like flag football stuff in elementary school, and then finally had the opportunity in high school. And I thought I'd give it a try, like wide receiver, and I ended up really liking it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I went to a game last year, my friend's game. She plays for Romeoville, so I feel like I was really interested in it at that time. And since it was at our school this year, I thought I'd give it a try.
Yeah, I think like my softball coach, who's also like one of the JV coaches, like it's a year set record. So I was like, oh, it is.
Oh.
I was like, oh, I gotta like it.
I just watched videos on Instagram stuff.
Mhm.
I really wanted to do it, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to be a part of the varsity.
Mm-hmm. And how many girls total are participating in varsity and JV?
I believe we had 46 in total.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 19 on the varsity team, and then we had about just over 25 on the JV for 46 total.
That's awesome. Great.
Well, I have to ask, so you had a playoff game. What was your final record and how did the season end?
We were a little under 500, but we we were 6-10 at the end of the season. We had a lot of games that came down to the last catch or the last thing, and we were very, very close. The nice thing is we played Hinsdale South, and the first time we played them, they were a little bit out of our league, and we played them in the playoff game, and we played them very tough the second time. We didn't get on the right side of the score, but I think we're improving fast, and another year of experience where we don't have to teach kids what a down is and what some of the skill sets you just take for granted that we didn't know at the beginning. As the season went on, we learned a lot. So I think starting off next year from the point we're at now, we'll really develop this program quickly.
Because other high schools, like I know LT had started a year before us, so you were playing people that had already a foundation.
Correct. Yes.
So your first year, yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Is flag football, is it 7-on-7 or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a pretty big, wide open field. So
Mm-hmm.
it creates a lot of fun plays out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really special for all you ladies. I mean, when you walk away from your time at DGS, you will have made history. And as you get older, you can look back on being in high school and making history. So congratulations to all of you guys. That's really cool.
Yeah, and to add on to that a little bit, sorry. I was actually at Mila's game, so she's right there. And just the energy on the field that I saw overall was really cool to see. It was my first time actually at a flag football game for the girls. And it was just, I didn't know what to expect. And when I was there, the teamwork on the team, we call it for volleyball, but the gelling on the team between all the girls, like it was really interesting to see. And I think that going forward is a great opportunity for everybody involved.
Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you. All right, I'd like to invite forward members of the Grove Express Foundation Junior Board.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm gonna move this down. Hi, my name is Angela, and I'm a member of the Downers Grove Express Foundation of our junior board members. And I'm here with the rest of the students.
I'm Finley Warner.
Hi, I'm Lily Eddington.
And we're just here today to talk a little bit about the foundation, our plans for this year, and just what we do as junior board members.
Hi, so the Grove Express is a non-for-profit race that raises money and it donates directly back to District 99, District 58, and other local non-for-profit organizations in the town. This race takes place on Thanksgiving morning each year, and it's really special for this year because it's the 5th year anniversary of the Grove Express, and we're hoping to set a goal of 7,000 racers this year. So.
You might ask, what do we do exactly? And the Junior Board of Directors was added to the Grove Express in 2022 as a way to give leadership opportunities to young adults like us in our community. These opportunities have allowed us to learn about the organization like this and how to prepare ourselves for other post-experience high schools.
Within the Grove Express Foundation, each board member is on a different committee. Similarly, each junior board member is assigned to one or two committees to work on throughout the season. We all choose a committee that aligns with our interests so that we can pour our passions into the event. Each committee has its own separate jobs and responsibilities.
The junior board is also responsible for the crosstown collaboration between North and South, and it helps with some personal goals and different goals for the event. It helps us become more involved in our own schools and help promote the race and work with students in our own district, and also students like in the other building. At meetings, we come to brainstorm our ideas and look forward to setting up and executing race day. Last year, I was a part of the race day committee, which is one of our many committees we have the opportunity for on the Grove Express Junior Board. And by having the opportunity to collaborate with other board members and other junior board members, it really set me up for experiences that I'll have post-high school, and it really helps you learn different experiences and opportunities from different people with different skill sets.
This year we have many plans for what we're going to discuss in the junior board. There's also a competition between Downers Grove South and Downers Grove North. Last year, Downers Grove South was the first year that they actually won. Other than that, it had gone to North. So that was exciting to see some diversity in that way. The school that shows the most involvement in the Grove Express wins a token. It's a golden pair of shoes, and it's very special to us.
We were also able to partner with the youth chapter of Kiwanis Key Club at Downers Grove South, which similarly has a 5K that we had in the past, and we were able to get runners from there and volunteers within our chapter to help bring more of our community inside.
Our website, groveexpress.com, contains all the details for registering for race day, which, by the way, you can all do right now if you haven't yet. The current price is $35, and it will get a little higher as it gets closer to race day, so make sure to sign up now. The race begins at 8:30 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning and will be on Main Street. Also, there's many different volunteer opportunities coming up, so make sure to keep a lookout for those. We all hope to see you guys all on race day.
All right.
Thank
Questions
you.
from board members?
So who has the golden shoes right now?
Downers Grove South.
Downers Grove
South has them, but North had them for lots of years.
My only ask is there any way you can encourage more people along the route to offer bacon? That's my only ask. So, yeah.
So just a little less. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Our student board members, who would like to go first this one?
I'll go first. So we're around halfway through the semester, so everyone has fallen into the routine. Classes are going, clubs, sports are in full swing. I will say everyone at this point is very much accustomed to the new phone policy. Even if there is a problem, teachers and substitutes are very quick to, again, immediately just do a dean's referral. So it's good to see teachers kind of have the tools to immediately handle that situation. Even this past week, in one of my classes, there was a substitute teacher, and one of the students didn't put their phone away. And the substitute teacher immediately stood up, wrote down the name of the student, and that situation was handled very quickly, very quietly. And our teacher the next day went over expectations again. And again, it's nice to see that, again, staff is enforcing the rules and kind of maintaining expectations as we go throughout the year. The only thing I've seen students kind of complain about has been the new bathroom policy. It seems that we're still kind of like getting used to it, and it's still kind of like a constant like topic of discussion. With scanning, it seems, again, everyone has fallen into the routine. It doesn't take too much time. It seems to be working well. The only thing that I've noticed is that some of my classes like keep getting interrupted by security going up and making sure a student is where they're supposed to be. I've noticed that it seems to be the same student kind of like over and over again. And the teacher like tries their best to be like, hey, like remember to scan, like we have to fall into this habit, but that's the only problem I've noticed with it. With activities, we just had parent-teacher conferences last week. We had our last football game at home. We have sectionals for tennis, state for golf, and the conclusion of our first amazing flag football team, their first season. As like fall sports are ending, winter sports and tryouts are coming up very quickly in the next few weeks. Other activities coming up are things like the Halloween trunk or treat, which is next Wednesday. I've been lucky to participate in that through Key Club, and it's always a very fun activity where we get to, I can just connect with the community and with kids in the area. Other activities, of course, are like Snowball, which is very big with both South and North. I know a lot of students who are very excited about it, and of course the Grove Express, who just made their presentation. And something else that I've noticed that has been going well is Access. Our school has given students the opportunity to, on most Thursdays, be able to get any help they need, which I've seen a lot of students take advantage of. We also introduced a special access for seniors who, I believe it's called the Gold Star Access. So for seniors who have good attendance and overall have been doing well and have a great attitude. So they get to go to the main gym and participate in fun activities and just like hang out with friends. So it's a good incentive for seniors to kind of, keep going and showing up to school. And lastly, I'll just mention the support that has been provided for seniors as like college application deadlines are approaching. There's been a lot of like college representative visits. There's also every Friday there's support at the College and Career Center, whether that is for like your Common App or to fill out the FAFSA. I've been able to personally take advantage of those resources, and it's honestly been really, really helpful.
Great. So a little bit more bouncing off of the phone policy implementation at Downers Grove North. So overall, phones have stayed away in classrooms for the most part, and I say most part in quotes. I've been noticing phones have been making their way out more and more on desks, pockets, or briefly out and about, but not necessarily being used. The positive side of this is I'm seeing more self-control and self-regulation among our students. I'm seeing that the phone is really just kind of sitting at the desk, or maybe it's off to the side, and it's not necessarily being put away or in the backpack or even in the caddies that we talked about the last meeting, how those aren't really being implemented as much. But I like that we're seeing more self-control and self-regulation among students. I think that's super important because when we're not in an academic setting and the phone's still there, I mean, students still have that level of self-control, and I think that's what we're all striving for here, is them doing that in school, but also outside of school and past high school. Are they actually engaged in their classes? Are they engaged in not only with their teacher, but their peers? I have seen consequences handed out in my 0-hour, 3rd period, 5th period, and 7th period. And it's not always like a bad student too. It's just that phone usually kind of slips its way out, and it just kind of interrupts quiet work time or instructional time with the teacher. Overall, I'd say that culture of accountability is working, and students are learning from it. I think it's super important that we have that self-regulation, and people are realizing that we can keep the phone away with still having that healthy relationship with it, because reality is it's going to be in our lives, and we need to be able to manage it ourselves. Secondly, school sphere and extracurricular-wise, football games feel super safe and organized. There's a strong sense of community and pride seeing our football game, or seeing our football team, band, cheerleaders, and Athenas all together on the field. You can see a sense of community and warmth among students and staff, and it's super good to see. A little bit talking about CTE and DECA. I'm the vice president of DECA, and this year we have over 236 members, which is a huge amount. I think we have, 56 members more. This is awesome, mostly freshmen and sophomores. That outreach has really been done through the CTE office and all of our career and technical teachers, really highlighting the positive aspects of career aspirations early on. For those of you who don't know, DECA is a field, or is a club where students can explore fields in finance, accounting, marketing, law, business management, and hospitality, where they're applying real-world classroom scenarios to real-world application. So I'm the vice president. I've done it for 4 years, and it really helps students kind of test out things that they would normally do. I think we've all heard the story, oh, I majored in this for 2 years, and then I changed my major and wasted all this money. If you can test that out early on, which is what a lot of students are doing, they're doing finance, they're doing entrepreneurship or marketing or whatever their event is, they're seeing what they like and kind of doing that trial and error process early on. Homecoming week was a huge success. It was fun, safe, and full of energy. Student participation could have always improved, but overall it was a great reflection on student pride and involvement across all grades. Thirdly, it is college application season. For most colleges and people who are applying early, November 1st is that deadline, and October 15th was a deadline in some other schools. Seniors are deep into college applications. I'd say a lot of my friends are applying early, and that's something good that we're seeing. I'd say the last 4 years, our counselors, access teachers, or whoever it is, everyone's saying, apply early, and it really helps your chances in the college admissions process. And everybody that I know is applying early, and that's really something that is super positive, and that continuity around the whole district, that everyone's saying the same thing, is the reason why everyone's applying early. There are support systems around campus, college and career centers, student activities in the counseling office, especially during access periods, and it's been super helpful, and I have taken guidance and resources provided by those opportunities. So overall, I think it's been a really positive environment. The phones are obviously always a work in progress. And I think what we're seeing in the classroom is super positive, and everything's been really great at DGN. Yeah.
Great. Questions for our board members?
Okay.
You know, I think we need to give our student board members a round of applause. The level of insight that you guys are bringing back to the board and to the community is phenomenal. So don't stop. You guys are really doing an awesome job and really, shedding light on the day-to-day experience of both high schools. And it is very much appreciated.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you to all of our student presenters. You're always welcome to stick around for the entire meeting if you'd like to, but I'm sure you have homework to get to, so.
Thank you.
Either way, thank you for your presentations this evening.
Okay, our next item of business is the approval of minutes. Can I get a motion for the Board of Education to approve the minutes of the September 22nd, 2025 monthly business meeting and the September 22nd, 2025 closed meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Chris moves, Katie seconds.
Thank you very much. Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
Katie Courtney.
Aye.
Kent Dawson.
Aye.
April Finan.
Aye.
Michael Riskey.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 5. Julie, do we have any?
No, sir.
Okay. And Hank, I'll turn it over to you to item 6.
Before we get into superintendent's reports, just recognizing that this week is Illinois Principal Week. Courtney and Arwen aren't with us this evening because they're at the Illinois Principal Conference, and they're actually presenting this week, so representing us at that statewide event. This week, we recognize all of our building administrators, and we have recognized them individually, and tomorrow in my weekly update, I'll recognize them across the district. So thank all of them for their leadership. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Travis for our first board report on facilities rentals and usage data.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Just want to remind you of some changes that we made last fall. Just as a reminder, we used to have 3 different categories. We added a 4th category, right? So our category A, which is mainly D99 groups and other area schools, we made no changes in that category for rentals. Category B, we changed it to C. We made a new category B. You can see that down there at the bottom, and we changed category C to D. So really, that new category B was for our feeder programs. And as long as they had at least 60% of the participants that were in our district, that allowed them to qualify for that group B. So that allowed us to provide a couple different things. One, a lower cost for rental. And then 2, if you'll go to the next slide, please. 2, it also allowed us to look at and waive, for the most part, our supervisor fee for most outdoor rentals. So there was some shadowing that was done, and as long as they went through, they followed the same protocols that we would go through for outdoor rentals, and that has worked well. We still maintain that we need our rental supervisors indoor for safety purposes, as well as if any event needs keys, right? We're still then utilizing our own staff for that. But you can see on the far right side there, that percentage charge. Our category A has 0% of our facility use fee. Category B was 50%, and again, that was a new. The lowest before that was that 100%, which is the category C, and then category D is that 200% of that facility use fee. Next slide, please. We also made some changes to our windows. So if you remember, for our auditorium, we had 4 different windows, and those are on the right-hand side there. I know it says current, that was from last year when we went through this, but we made 2 rental windows, and we have seen a big improvement by making those 2 windows, because it allows that additional time that's needed to make that preparation, right? A lot of times it's for a show or an event where materials need to be printed, they need to be go ahead and sell tickets, that type of thing. So having those 2 windows has really worked well. And then for all other rentals, we went from 4 to a 3 window period, and again, that has worked well. You can see that first window of June 1st to October 31st, that really gives us the whole summer up until right about now, where people can plan and make those decisions and get that in on that March 1st date. You can go to the next slide. We also had some just kind of procedural and different things that are happening. Sam Z is one of our ASC programs managers, and she oversees a lot with the rental portion of our facility rentals, as far as working through contracts, sending out invoices, all of those different pieces. New last year, she went to each of the facility meetings at each of the buildings and met with the individuals that are listed there from the buildings, and that really helped with the coordination. A lot of conversations, lots of, hey, this is coming up, remember. So lots of good reminders, and the ability to talk about future requests that are coming up and planning for that. We also added a rental coordinator last year, and that has worked really well. Colleen Daly does that for us, and she does a great job. And that position really is to get all of our supervisors lined up so that we can host this. And if you guys have looked ahead, we had a lot more rentals. So we were able to, that position was really needed to be able to coordinate all of those things. And if you remember last year at the beginning, we were also just starting to implement ML schedules, and that is the online tool that anyone that is looking to make a rental, that's what they're using. And so we were able to fully implement that as of really November of last year. So we saw a transition, and that worked really well. There were some bumps, right, as you go through a new system and getting individuals used to the process. The biggest change for us in that is you couldn't pass go, if you will, in the rental process unless you provided a recent certificate of insurance. And that has helped us with not having to track that down and going through. Part of the challenges, though, that we saw with that is you can't get your certificate of insurance renewed earlier than when it expires. So we had some in the beginning that were looking to have something scheduled out, 4 months in advance. We initially were saying we need the certificate of insurance to be at that point in time. We've made some adjustments with that, understanding that there may be a lapse in the certificate of insurance, but the system sends reminders, hey, your certificate of insurance is going to be expiring. You need to submit a new certificate of insurance. So that has worked well. Next slide, please. So here's, again, our 23-24 rental data. So this is before we made those changes. You can see in total number of invoices that were sent were 110, and the rental days were 675. Again, you can see the breakdown in percentage, with B being our largest percentage of rental days, and then our total revenue from that is $128,000. I do want to note that the revenue is not the profit, right? That's our revenue that we receive from that, just like on this slide. So you'll see the breakdown of the different categories here as well. I do want to note that we didn't make those changes in the category until this October board meeting last year. So there's some duplication in the categories A, B, and C in that. So once we hit November, that's when we had all 4 categories. So the comparison between the categories isn't exactly, you can't look and say, we can say for sure that D is all brand new, right? But there's some overlap with A, B, and C. But you can see we jumped up by a count of 45 for our invoices. And then our days, the total number of rental days went to 909, as well as our total revenue was just under $304,000. So looking at the numbers, we had a 40% increase in our invoices, 35% increase in rental days, and you can see in the revenue 137% increase. I also want to note, when we made that change, we also did change the pricing structure, right? So you're seeing that we increased our prices from that. Obviously, it wasn't a deterrent because our numbers are very healthy for the number of days. And then the last thing I want to highlight is that every year our money that came from the old category C, the new category D, we give a portion of that back to the buildings to help, because we know that there's some wear and tear on the facilities and going through that. So the amount that went back, and this again is to both schools, it's a total, was just about $8,500 in fiscal year '24. This last year, it's just under $30,000. So that helps with a lot of different things. We know that there's additional wear and tear as well with having that number of rentals. But just really, we made some good, I think, procedural and changes to the rental program, and you can see it had a positive impact. But it takes all the people that are working the events, all of our custodians. It's an extra wear on them as well, and not only them, but our buildings. So we saw that it truly does take a village in order to make that happen, and I'm really proud of our staff for stepping up and making that happen. So, any questions you guys have about rentals?
I was just wondering, so with the new hire, does that, the money for that position, does that come out of the increase that we see in what you're pulling in now?
It certainly comes into the whole thing. It is a stipend position, so it's not like a full-time
Okay,
position.
that's what- okay.
It's a stipend, yeah. But yes, that would come out of, that would be part of, in totality.
Of
Yeah.
all of your
But we
numbers?
did rework, when we had our programs manager position, we did rework some of the responsibilities that were within that and move some of those into the rental coordinator position. So yes, there is some additional, but there also, in the totality, I think we're pretty close to where we were even the previous year.
Okay.
What type of organizations are you seeing as being the driving force behind the increase in rental days?
So it is a good breakdown. I would say, our pool rentals still continue to be very strong. And if you remember, when we talked about the different categories, that you'll see, 23% of our rentals are Category D. That's a lot related to our rentals of our pool. You can see 79 of days were by that Category B, so that's something that I think some of those would be there before, but I think that really increased that where they were paying 50% of what they were before, and then not having for those outdoor, not having to have the rental supervisor. I think that increased that. I did not see, we didn't see any difference in like our Category A. Those groups still continued to be in that same vein. So we also did see a lot of additional auditorium rentals. So we saw a lot more events that happened, and especially over the summer.
What do you attribute to the increased interest in facility rentals? Is it your staff communicating with community organizations to incentivize them, or is it a change in the cost structure?
I think it's a change, highly in the changes that we made, not only with the different categories, but also with our windows.
Okay.
Our windows, and the way that we're approaching that, I think that has helped tremendously, where we're elongating them some. Instead of having, remember, we had 4 to 3 and then 4 to 2 in the auditorium. So by elongating the windows there that people can look out, I think that's really helped. Because people have to make plans, they have to know, what that looks like.
Have you made the calculation of your net income? I know you're reporting revenues, but have you made the calculations of what your net income looks like?
I have not done that. I could off of the hard costs. It's the other unknown costs,
Sure.
right? That are unknown, but I have not done that.
But otherwise, these facilities are sitting empty and not being utilized, and we're generating revenue from them. And we're also bringing in community members into these facilities, which they helped pay for our facilities. So bringing in that access and use is always a good thing in my mind.
Yep, you bet. It's that, I don't think we're there, but there's a fine line there where you're, with your building and with your staff, of being burnt out, because
Yeah.
a lot of our rental supervisors also have other roles in our district. And with that number, I don't know where that line is, right? But I know we're closer.
We're approaching it, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is important, and we do, still, our stuff is top priority, right? And our renters know that, and there are times when we have to say, you know what, we're gonna have to cancel because something occurred with our student needs. So we do that, and people are understanding because we're upfront with them.
Does this affect our insurance premiums at all? You said that or all of the renters have to provide proof of insurance. Just makes me so nervous thinking about, somebody who's not a student is swimming in our pool.
Yep.
So you've accounted for all this?
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's why they have the certificate of insurance.
Okay.
Right, so we are named as an additional insured under their policy, and we have requirements of the dollar amount that are there, so that if anything were to happen, their insurance is gonna cover those situations.
All right, I'd just like to recognize that last year this was a goal of the board that I believe we accomplished we accomplished the structure last year. Bringing back this year, I think the data shows that the goals that the board had set out are being met through these changes. We'll continue to monitor and report back as the board is interested in it. And I'd like to just recognize Travis and the rest of the team for getting all of this work done. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't just a goal of last year. It was also a goal of the master facility plan back when we were talking about this and creating these new facilities, is getting more community engagement and community use. So thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome. The next one is Travis's as well and is an action item this evening.
Again, to start off, just reminding of some of the background, back in February, we were able to secure the use of Fund 90 for some energy conservation work. And as a result of that, we started investigating some different lighting options for our stadium. Then in May, we also received notice of an additional $300,000 in the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity Grant. And that came through the funding and working with State Senator Rachel Ventura, so huge thanks to her. That not only, just as a reminder, was for the stadium lights, but also for our EV charging stations and the infrastructure that went along with that. So we fully investigated 3 different lighting options, 3 different companies for the retrofit of our stadium lighting, and we even conducted some site visits to see the lights in action. So currently where we're at, again, this is another that is utilizing a Sourcewell contract. We've solidified our product of choice, and that's Musco Sports Lighting. As another step that we took, we did contact ISB and made sure, hey, here's the down to the penny that we have left from that Fund 90 approval. It's just under $410,000. And then we confirm that total project cost that we're bringing to you tonight is to be paid for using those Fund 90 funds, as well as the DCEO grant funds, also taking into consideration the EV charging stations, and that also plays into the totality of the funds. So to give some information on Musco Sports Lighting, they've been in business for 50+ years. Our current stadium lights it's a Musco system. We've had them for quite some time. We're very happy with their service that they provide, with the solutions that they have. We're most excited for the upgrade in technology because they don't have to warm up. Right, it's an instant on, instant off, and a lot of light, a lot of savings. So you can see over the next 5 years, there's an estimated just over $24,000 in savings, and that is between both stadiums in looking at that. And I also listed down some recent Musco lighting projects there. You can see they're very well established in the area. A lot of even in talking with Mr. Rose and Mr. Murphy, a lot of their counterparts, they utilize Musco as well. So what comes with these lights, and it's not just the lights, there's also programming, as I mentioned, with that. The remote on-off is a huge piece for us. What that's also going to allow us to do is that some of our outdoor rentals, whenever we have to have lights, we need to have a rental supervisor there to turn on and turn off the lights. That will not be needed with this solution because we'll be able to program them, we'll be able to handle that remotely. There also is on-site dimming. So sometimes when you have an event and sometimes people hang around a little bit longer, you can also dim the lights, right, and kind of say, hey, we're closing things down as you're going through the day. And we also have some focused light on field and track for less impact on the surrounding neighborhood, so they point down more than out. So the light bleed is really a lot less with this type of a system. They have lighting scenes and effects for enhanced game day experience. So if you've seen any of the the new college or pro games where the lights are flashing and strobing, and that will have that functionality. And then we have
Colored lights as well?
We have show light controls. There's one color fixture per pole.
Nice.
So there will be color functionality, which you can program down to the hex code or the RGB if you know what those are, right? So it's pretty cool, the functionality that is there. There is a control and monitoring communication cabinet in the press box that runs everything. So if you can go to the next one, I'll continue with the solutions. There is, they call it ball tracker technology for a better athlete experience, and what that is if you should be able to see the ball in the air better from the technology that they have against a dark night sky. So I don't pretend to know what that really means, other than they say that it helps with our athletes and provides a better experience there. We also have 4 minutes of light show programming that we can have for each stadium, and that is set to music. So we have up to that 4 minutes, so we can program those for different things. Teams running out, we score a touchdown, whatever that looks like. We have lots of different events that occur in our stadium, so we can utilize them in many different ways. And then there's a touchscreen in the press box that is for the on-site with the controls of the scenes and the effects and all of those things. And then we have enhanced track lighting at each of our buildings that I'll talk a little bit more about. Slide, please. So at South, the total proposal is $315,000. That includes a 10-year materials and on-site labor warranty. And I put in parentheses there concrete poles, because you'll notice North has a different number of years because they have a different type of pole. Concrete poles only last for so long, and our poles are about from the 1980s, somewhere in there, so there's some concern about how long will those go, and so they have a 10-year warranty on those. And then our long jump area is, the lighting of that is also included in there, where there'll be a separate light that will shine down into that jump pit.
Is that over by the concession area? Oh, no, it's
right by the
yeah,
road.
by the bleachers?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then at North, the price tag is $318,000. You'll see that is a 25-year materials and on-site labor warranty, again, with the metal poles. That's why the difference in the warranty coverage there. This is brand new for us. The field event lighting will be included, so there'll be separate lights that will shoot back into that field event area where the long jump pit is. And we've had to use portable lighting back there for other events, but that will be part of the lighting. And again, through their light study, it's minimal onto Main Street there. So the light bleed, again, with the technology that they have, will be good. They also have some additional security lighting added and zoned for that stadium entrance area over there to the.
It gets pretty dark over there.
Yeah. So as Hank mentioned, we're seeking board approval tonight, and then if the board approves that, we'll sign the quotes, and installation is about 8 to 10 weeks out from that, so we'll have that completed before spring sports occur. That will be something that will be done, they can do in the winter. We've checked with them, and we'll be good to go with that timeline. Any questions?
So roughly half of the project was obtained through this grant, in essence? That's pretty good. And you think the life is roughly about 10 years? I know that's the warranty, but what do you think the life of?
Yeah, it's the LED, I think it's more along the 25-year mark, because that's what they're doing on the other lights, right?
Okay.
So it's just the pole structure is why they have the 10.
Okay.
The technology with LED, if it does well in the first like 6 months to a year, you're usually pretty good. So we're definitely well within our warranty coverage during that time period. So.
And if it lasts that long with the energy savings per year, you're really, extending the ROI on the project.
Yeah.
Well, it becomes much more usable now too, because it's instant on, instant off, right? It doesn't bleed into the neighborhood, it doesn't become a distraction. So it becomes a much better tool for us to use.
In the game day slash event experience is very different. Again, with the different scenes and the programs, you can program it so a certain area of the field is lit more, right, and the other areas go more dim. So you can really provide a focus. So say you're doing like at homecoming, right, as they're announcing the court, or if there's a special event where you're recognizing someone or a group of individuals, right? You can have midfield lit up more and everything else kind of dimmed down a little bit more. So it really, it changes the game day experience quite a bit as well.
Have you had a chance to personally reach out to any of the other high schools that are currently using it to get their feedback?
Yes, we have, and very, very positive. Again, talking about a lot of those different things, having that functionality. And again, we already knew about Musco in working with them and the service that they provide. So we knew about that component. So it was really about what is that technology like and what's that do for you? But yes,
And
positive feedback.
we've been at some of these stadiums to see the
Oh, good,
the
good.
lights and the light shows, and it really does enhance the experience for kids to have that.
Right.
I've seen the evolution of like the scoreboard technology and the utilization. Are students getting involved in that? And then do we have student opportunities with this technology as well?
I think there's room for us to grow in the scoreboard.
Okay.
I do not know personally like how much they're going through. I know that there was, especially last year when those hype videos were made, there was some student contribution with that. To the extent that is, I can't speak of that.
Okay.
But there is, when you talk about like production and game day experience, there is room that we could grow in that area where we really could have students as part of that, and even the coordination and the programming.
Yeah.
And if we even got down to where we were, I know North has the video that they stream the game, right? If we had like a production thing there, you could go to the next level with that and show replays on the scoreboards, and just it could, the sky's the limit with a lot of the technology that we'll have in place for that.
Okay.
All right, any other questions for Travis?
Nice work. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Welcome.
The next one's an update. The board already approved this, but we're circling back to let you know what we did.
Last thing I promise. If you remember, back on August 18th, the board approved the purchase of up to 6 activity buses for $400,000, amount not to exceed. Not that we would have exceeded that amount, right? Because we knew it was an amount not to exceed, but we're happy to report that we came in $30,000 under budget, and we were able to secure more. If you remember, we had like one of those larger, they were all 14 passenger, but the size of the seats were different. So we, 2 years ago, when we purchased the 4 buses, they were all had the smaller seats. These have the larger seats that will work really well for us. So huge shout out to Luke, our garage mechanic. He worked with Midwest, and through a little bit of patience, we were able to secure 6 of those sizes. So that's why the delay, if you will. The impetus for doing that is there were some that were in stock. They held the other ones for us in stock that we wanted, and then went searching for bigger vehicles, and so that worked out really well. So thank you for giving us that advanced approval so that we could make this happen.
Are these buses operating now? Are they ready to go?
They'll be here early November.
Okay, so we don't have them
we have cut the check, and they have that, but there are things that they have to do in order to get them safety laned and approved and titled and all of that. So, but should have them here early November.
right, any other questions on that one?
Good work on that, too.
Thank you. All right, the next one is also an action item this evening. This is an item that comes back on a yearly basis. It's our annual approval of medical, dental, vision, and vision plans and the associated premiums. This has been shared with the board and with the staff before this. Just to review, we have an insurance committee that's made up of members of each of the employee groups that works to hit the goals of staying within the district's 5-year forecast of their budget and tries to maintain the most desirable plans that we can for our members. This is obviously a huge benefit for all employees, but it also is something that helps us attract new employees and retain employees in the district. So we work really hard. It's a great team. That member takes their work, the members of the team take this work very seriously as we work through it each year and understands the impact that all of these changes could have on each of our employees. You've seen it in the news, insurance is a really tough market right now. There's some tough changes that we have here to stay within our budget and within forecasts. You can see those up on the screen. So what we have is a self-managed PPO. In there's two options, one that is a standard PPO and one that's a PPO with a high deductible, but it comes with a health savings account. So that's what spells out those two differences there. The changes are up there on the screen between those two plans. Are there any questions that Jeff, Jeree, or I can answer about the proposed changes here in the PPO plan?
The spousal surcharge is totally new, right, Hank?
That is
That's it,
totally
yeah.
new.
That's
It's
not
totally new to us.
Yeah, correct, yeah,
It's
okay.
more and more common in the industry, and
Sure,
especially in schools. This is a direction
Yeah.
that, we use a consultant company called Hub
Okay.
that comes in and gives us a variety of things to consider. And when we were looking to try to stay within our 5% increase, budgeted increase here, that was an option that was very clearly on the table to try to keep us there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty customary, yeah. Yeah, okay.
It's new to us,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not new to the industry
Sure,
at
not-
all.
yeah.
Any other questions on the PPO?
So you're trying to incentivize employees to get into the HSA with the increased
Yeah, we definitely
seat
want.
contribution?
Well, this plan, how long have we had the HSA in place now?
It's this year
4 or 5?
4 or
I
5.
think.
And we have not increased that seed money, even though costs have gone up, inflation has gone up.
Okay.
So that's part of it, is that it just has lost some of its market value over that 5 years. But yes, we definitely want people to have this to be a legitimate option to consider, and to do that with rising deductibles, we needed to increase that seed money. We really want employees to look through each of these plans and determine what is in their best interest, both short-term and long-term. And that health savings account is a great investment option, especially if you or your family is currently in a spot with really good health. It's a great way to shift money from a burden of premiums to actual expenses, so.
Yeah, it's a non-taxable benefit that will provide benefits to them after retirement.
Yeah,
There's no doubt.
We call it that triple tax protected, yeah. All right, and then we also offer an HMO plan. This one is not managed by the district, it's managed by Blue Cross Blue Shield. The premium increase is larger percentage-wise, but that is a less expensive plan in total. We are not recommending any changes to this plan at this point. And then dental insurance, really no change in cost, but a lower cost of administering the plan for us, and just in our staff time and effort of having Blue Cross Blue Shield pick up both our dental and our medical insurance. That is a recommended change in this plan as well. Tree and Jeff, is there anything I missed? How'd I do?
They got the highlights, yeah.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the board?
I know it's not easy to try and, adapt these plans to stay within budget, so thanks to all the team members and who put in countless hours, I'm sure, to get to where we are tonight.
The last slide gives you the overview of all of those cost changes. Total all-in for all of the plans combined is about a 7% increase, which is the number we try to forecast and stick around in our 5-year forecast for the budget for the board. All right, this is up tonight, later on as an action item. The next one is IASB resolutions and constitutional amendments. Julie and I have provided you the overview from your organization, from Illinois Association of School Boards. Ken is your delegate who will, at the conference, have your vote at that. I'm bringing them to your attention this time. Next time, Ken, when we meet in a couple of weeks, you can discuss any of these concerns with him, or usually your delegate will take a straw poll as to what he should do at that meeting. These are all of the things that your organization recommends doing that Ken votes yes to at the next one. So a single resolution, and then the amendments that go with that. We've provided you your resolution committee report so you can review those things and have a discussion about this at the next meeting. So Ken knows what to do at the annual conference. Ken, anything I'm missing there?
Nope, you hit it.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, sale of bonds, I'll turn this over to Jeree.
Okay. In just a few minutes, we're going to be holding a public hearing for issuing our life safety bonds. This is required by school code to have this public hearing prior to issuing the bonds. The main purpose is it provides an opportunity to have any comments from the public. As we've discussed over the last few months, that we've identified some life safety projects that are required for us to do, and they've been approved by the ROE. The total cost is around $4.5 million. And the purpose of the bond issuance is because the district does not have sufficient available operating funds to cover the project costs. So by issuing these life safety bonds, it'll allow the district to complete the work now while preserving operating funds for educational purposes. So the next step is, in just a few minutes, we're going to hold the hearing, and then at the November 17th board meeting, we will bring forward a resolution that would authorize administration to go ahead with the sale of the bonds. Are there any questions?
Nope. Okay. The next agenda item for the Board of Education is a public hearing.
Oh, almost there.
Oh, sorry.
FOIA requests.
Sorry, apologize.
Yep, we've received them, we've filled them, and they are on the district website for the public to view. Now it's here.
Now, the next agenda item for the Board of Education is a public hearing to receive public comments on the proposal to sell bonds in the amount of $4,573,336 for the purpose of conforming its existing facilities that house students to the building code promulgated by the State Board of Education of the State of Illinois by altering, reconstructing, and repairing said facilities and having equipment purchased and installed therein. All persons desiring to be heard will have the opportunity to present written or oral testimony with respect thereto. The reasons for the proposed issuance for the life safety bonds are the district has identified certain urgent and necessary life safety projects as required by the Regional Office of Education. These projects include repairs, replacements, and improvements needed to ensure the continued safety and adequacy of the district's school facilities. The estimated cost of these projects exceeds the amounts of funds currently available in the district's operating accounts. Therefore, the district proposes to issue life safety bonds to provide the funding necessary to complete these required projects in a timely manner without negatively affecting the district's educational programs or operations. The proceeds from the bonds will be used solely for approved life safety purposes as outlined in the district's approved life safety amendments, and will be repaid over time in accordance with applicable law. Are there any additional comments from the members of the Board of Education before we proceed? Hearing none. Does anyone wish to provide oral testimony or any public comments concerning the proposed issuance of the life safety bonds? Hearing none. All persons desiring to be heard have been given an opportunity to present oral and written testimony with respect to the proposed issuance of the life safety bonds. I need a motion from the Board of Education that the hearing be finally adjourned.
So moved.
Chris moves, Mike seconds.
Thank you.
Is there,
Oh, I'm sorry.
is there any more discussion? Hearing none. Julie, will you please call the roll for a vote upon the motion?
Certainly. Thank you. Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
Michael Riskey.
Aye.
Katie Courtney.
Aye.
Ken Dawson.
Aye.
April Finan.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye, motion carries, and the hearing is adjourned. Okay, item 8, moving on to the consent agenda. Before the board votes on the consent agenda, is there any agenda item a board member would like to pull out of the consent agenda for further discussion? Hearing none, can I get a motion from the Board of Education to approve the consent agenda as presented, which includes A, personnel report, appointment certified, appointment classified, transfer position classified; B, personnel report, retirements administration, retirements classified, resignations classified; C, personnel report, terminations classified; D, September treasurer's report and financial pages; E, student trips; and F, acceptance of donation baseball boosters.
So moved.
Second.
April moves, Chris seconds.
Thank you. April Finan.
Aye.
Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
Michael Riskey.
Aye.
Katie Courtney.
Aye.
Ken Dawson.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye, motion carries.
And thank you to the baseball boosters for that generous donation.
Yep, definitely. Item 9, recommendations for action. Item A, can I get a motion from the Board of Education to approve the calendar year 2026 medical, dental, and vision plans and premiums as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Mike moved, I'll give April a second.
Thank you. Michael Riskey.
Aye.
April Finan.
Aye.
Katie Courtney.
Aye.
Ken Dawson.
Aye.
Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye, motion carries. And then item B, can I get a motion from the Board of Education to approve the Musco quotes, one for DGN and one for DGS, totaling $633,000 combined, and authorizes the administration to sign and execute all related documents?
So moved.
Second.
Ken moves, and Chris seconds.
Thank you. Ken Dawson.
Aye.
Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
April Finan.
Aye.
Michael Riskey.
Aye.
Katie Courtney.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 10, old business. We have a second reading of policies.
Yes, we have a long list of policies that are coming back to the board this evening. These were all reviewed by the policy committee and then are returning tonight for final approval. I've received no questions or concerns in the meantime. A lot of this, we've spent a lot of time communicating out to the board. Major changes in this include the uniform grievance procedure completely rewritten, Title IX grievance procedure completely rewritten, immigrant enforcement activities by federal agencies, a new policy, and then that would follow up with communication of procedures and information to employees and students and families. And then the other brand-new one is 7.255, students who are parents, expectant mothers, or victims of domestic or sexual violence. So all of the other ones are general kind of changes related mostly to changes in law or changes in recommendations from attorneys. Otherwise, nothing else for me to call out. I don't know if there's anything from Chris or Don.
No. Mm-mm.
No. No.
Any other further questions or items for discussion from the board? Hearing none, can I get a motion from the Board of Education to approve the board policies as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Chris moves, Ken seconds.
Thank you. Chris Espinoza.
Aye.
Ken Dawson.
Aye.
April Finan.
Aye.
Michael Riskey.
Aye.
Katie Courtney.
Aye.
And Don Renner.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Any items of new business?
Business for me.
Okay. Item 12, second reception of visitors. Do we have any cards?
No, sir.
Okay, thanks, Julie. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll call up Roberta Zotto to the podium.
Thank you. My name is Roberta Zato. Last time I was here, Superintendent, you stated that students in non-AP classes did receive textbooks. You went on the record. Could you go on the record and state what percentage of students, non-AP, get textbooks? Could you share with us?
It's not a question and answer session.
It's not a question and answer. If you'd like to-
Okay, so last year, Mr. Dawson, Mr. Christopher, and Mr. Renner were here. I had a freshman and a senior, 0 textbooks in English, math, social studies. My children, I was here and I spoke about it. So that was interesting, going on the record stating students received textbooks. My student did not. I will email superintendent looking for what percentage do receive textbooks, because that will help students be able to read. Second time I was here, I stated that students are given violent and graphic pornographic books. Again, superintendent went on the record and said they were not. I would like superintendent to read an excerpt from said book, understanding maybe he would not like to. We were on email where it was stated this book is acceptable. So I will read an excerpt from this book. I do not recommend this book. The staff give it to the students. Staff have given my students many inappropriate books. Here's an excerpt. He reached his hand down and pulled out my dick. He quickly went to giving me head. I just sat back and enjoyed it, as I could tell he was too. This is not about a relationship. This is about a sexual experience and not appropriate. He was also definitely experienced in what he was doing because he went to work quite confidently. He then came up and asked me if I wanted to try it on him. Sure, I said. I remember the condom was blue and flavored like cotton candy. I put some lube on and got him on his knees, and I began to slide into him from behind. Again, this is an example of sodomy and fellatio. This is not healthy, even if it is a same-sex relationship. I will be filling out the needed information to try to remove this book because I would like the motivation. What is the staff's motivation to giving the students this book? These are other books that staff gave my children. My children were, these are books from DGS that these children can go and get right now that staff, I had conversation with staff. I had conversation with Arwen Lip. I said, do not give my children, communicate to your staff, do not give my children, those books were given 14 and 17. This book right here is available. So we cannot speak about these matters in polite conversation, but they could give it to the students. There's flags on the teachers' doors and in the library. It is the rainbow flag, I'm assuming, that's saying safe space. So if the students go in there, do they know they're going to have inappropriate like sexual conversations with the teachers? What does that flag on the rainbow flag that says safe space?
Expired.
Okay, I'd like to thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to item 13. Can I get an update? Well, Kara's not here tonight.
I can update on
Lend.
Lend.
Yep.
We had a meeting last Friday that involved a panel of attorneys, one of them being from Franzik, one of the board's attorneys. It was on that panel, and really talked about a lot of the legal issues that schools are intersecting with. Things around First Amendment is a huge topic of concern in schools right now, and kind of the aspects of that, its impact through social media and other emerging court cases across the U.S., related to that, and some of the changes being made at the national level that are just causing some confusion right now as to how complaints and procedures are being handled. So really good discussion. Out of that came some recommendations that Kara and I are going to send to the policy committee. Out of that, just a few gaps that were identified in the discussion in some of our policies. So I'm working with the board's attorneys to get a little bit of guidance to take back to policy related to those. But great conversation. This is the first time that Lend had a panel like that. It was great to have administrators and board members in the same space to kind of process some of these really challenging and difficult topics. So it was an excellent meeting.
Thanks. Chris, can we get an update from SASSA?
We haven't had a meeting since August, but we've got another in January, January 28th.
Okay.
And then our board is really focused on, as I mentioned the last time, facilities. There's a facilities meeting on Wednesday that I'll be attending.
Katie and April, any update from the foundation?
We had a meeting last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And they were showing their almost prepared flyer that's going out to the community, to different sponsorships from past fundraising. They're very excited to get it out to alumni from both schools. It looks great. It's really an exciting thing, I know, for them. They also went over 3 different proposals that teachers and staff at the 2 buildings had submitted for their fall proposal window, and I don't want to take away anything because I know they're going to be here to present all that information. So that's coming in November. And then they said that they look for a good number of grants that usually come the second opening, because that's when teachers are able to have knowledge of what that year is going to look like. And so they're looking forward to seeing what those grants will be like in the spring.
And there's been a big focus on modernizing our fundraising efforts and modernizing the website. We don't know yet how much or how big our fund pool will be, because the main time that we collect funds is registration, and the registration funds have not come in yet. So we don't know what we're looking at for this coming year, but hopefully, like Katie said, we expect a lot of grant proposals for spring semester. And so it's a lot of fun being on the board. It's really cool to see what the foundation gives back to the students and the teachers. It's pretty neat. I'm excited about those 3 grants, so
yeah,
it's a secret for now.
Don't
Stay
take
tuned.
away there, yeah. Take the wind out of there.
All right. Ken, any report on IASB?
As you know, we have the DuPage Division meeting coming up a week from Wednesday at the Carlisle. Julie, are we all going to be in attendance?
Unfortunately, not all of you will be able to attend.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll have a very
I'll
good
be there
turnout.
with the representatives of the board. It should be good.
Yeah, and we're going to be acknowledged at it, so that should be good. And then a month later, not even that, we'll be having the joint annual conference, which will be fantastic. And in the meantime, you guys can look at your resolutions committee report. And next month, we will discuss that.
Okay, for the community, our next upcoming board meeting will be here at the ASC on November 3rd, 2025, for a workshop meeting at 6:30 p.m., followed later in the month, November 17th, for a monthly business meeting again here at the ASC at 6:30 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Chris moves, Ken seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.